JR?
Okay. So this is the part that everyone's talking about, him walking down the street. First off, first thing is shooting multiple people that are chasing him. And then continuing, shots fired, then walking down the street at which looks like military vehicles, masked as police vehicles, down the street, and has absolutely zero fear of cops apprehending him, shooting him, killing him with this big long gun wrapped around his chest. And he was described as walking with his hands up, which was done in intervals, hands up, back down, adjusting rifle, hands up, back down. So all those things could be seen as aggressive behavior. You keep touching your gun that can kill us, but there's a trust factor there. Never once did it cross his mind that he could be spooking out the cops. They could think he's the aggressor. None of that ever crossed his mind because he's right. They'll never think that he's the aggressor. They'll never think that this gun is a dangerous weapon around his shoulder. They'll never think that. And they proved it right there. So that's just one small part of it. But we'll get to more of the reactions to it. But that's the first thing that I think stands out for anyone that can watch this is there's a presumption of innocence and just letting him go that gets assumed, and it pans out every time. But someone without any instance of a gun, someone with a cell phone in their hand, all those things get mistaken for guns all the time, and people get shot and killed immediately over stuff like that. Someone could be breaking up a fight, and then after they walk away from cops around the distance of a car, not half a city block, around the distance of a car, get shot in the back. Because of why? Because of what weapon that was being waved at officers? None of that happens. But it's just these are the right people that we can kill, because we show up to a chaotic scene, and if we see someone with a gun, it must be the guy with the gun that's causing the chaos, right? 2 + 2 is 4. No, only if there's a certain guy without a gun that we believe causes chaos, it seems, that we can shoot that guy.
Yeah, you made a lot of great points. I mean, one, he wasn't worried at all. No, because, and look, again, there's a lot of context around this. Some of it has been confirmed, some hasn't. There's militia members in the area seemingly working with the police. There's a ton of videos going around of the cops like buddy with them. They're giving them drinks of water and stuff like that. The militia members are saying they're working with the cops. We don't know for sure if the individual who we believe is the shooter from that video, it's going around. I'm not gonna say the person's name because people have gotten that wrong in the past. It seems pretty clear who this individual is. And we don't know for sure if he was one of the militia members, but to jump ahead, on Tuesday, a group calling itself the Kenosha Guard asked members and followers on Facebook to come downtown and be prepared to defend the city. One post read, "Any patriots willing to take up arms and defend out city tonight from the evil thugs? None doubt they are currently planning on the next part of the city to burn tonight." So I don't know if the individual with the AR-15, who's seemingly a 17-year-old, went there as a result of that post. But he definitely went there for that reason, whether he knew about that post or that militia or not. He went there to have a gun and defend the city. And what do you know? He started shooting people. And after he shot the first person and apparently already killed someone, he thought he had killed someone. When they try to apprehend him, he doesn't want to get caught, of course, so he starts murdering other people. And it's not speculation. It's not a hypothetical as to whether right wingers are gonna say he was right to shoot those people who tried to apprehend him. It's already all over the place. Matt Walsh and other right wingers are already saying they deserve to be shot because they attacked that guy with the gun. Okay, so what was it, Ahmaud Arbery? They thought it was totally right for those guys to jump in their car with guns and track down someone that they think trespassed on property? So who do you get to apprehend and who do you not get to apprehend? If it's someone who you just saw murder another individual, if you try to stop him and you get shot, it's on you, according to these right wingers. But if it's a black individual that might have trespassed on property, you get to go with guns and you get to shoot him in the street if you want to. You're totally justified. And again, as with everything in this, it is entirely dependent on the race of each of the individuals involved in it.
Yeah, these guys are extensions of the law, as long as they say that they are, as long as the law enforcement accepts them, the right kinds of people to be extensions of the law, running down the street. But if you brought up Ahmaud Arbery, but if he happened to have a gun on him, which he wouldn't because he was out for a run, But if he happened to have a gun on him and he responded and killed both of those guys, all three of them that were hunting him down over nothing, guess what they would have said about him? It's a confirmation of his law breaking. Previous to that, the fact that he had a gun and the fact that he shot people who were trying to stop him. But in this case, have those same people said that there's a confirmation of his murderous tendencies because he showed up with a gun, shot at more people? In my mind, that's a confirmation that he is looking to kill people, or he's so afraid for what he did already the first time, or being held for his actions being actually carried out and held against him. He's so afraid of consequences that he shot more people. That sounds like criminal to me. To avoid any kind of apprehension, so you shoot more people. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, there's only about a million angles I want to talk about, points I want to make. I'm not going to be able to because at some point I'm just going to have to tap out because
you know why? Can I tell you one more thing? So the governor, Tony Evers of Wisconsin, is that where we are? Yeah. So he was tweeting about it, and there was a point he tried to make to try and go down the middle of it. He says, we cannot allow the cycle of systemic racism and injustice to continue. Oh, good point, Tony. Second sentence of this tweet. We also cannot continue down this path of damage and destruction. Okay, Tony, I hear you. Yeah. You don't want down the path of damage and destruction of destroying our communities. Next tweet, that's part of this thread. We are assessing the damage to state property and will be increasing the presence of the Wisconsin National Guard to ensure individuals can exercise their rights safely, protect state buildings and critical infrastructure, and support first responders and firefighters. So that second tweet, he went through ways that we can protect the city, which was the second part of his first tweet. We can't go down this path of damage and destruction. Where's the plan that's gonna back up the first sentence of your first tweet? We cannot allow the cycle of systemic racism and injustice to continue. That's the thing that sparks every one of these protests and then subsequent fights and subsequent shootings. That first sentence you just say. The second sentence you back up with actions and reasons and a plan to actually carry that out. Where's your plan to carry out that first sentence about stopping the cycle of systemic racism and injustice? There's nothing ever there for that. It's just saying we have to stop it. How are you gonna stop it, Tony? Oh, but you have a plan to stop protesters from going in the streets, and then some of them do cause damage to buildings and infrastructure and cars and homes and all that stuff. Yeah, those things happen. You have a plan to stop that. You got the Wisconsin National Guard coming in to stop that. Where's the Wisconsin National Guard coming in to stop the police from murdering people every week on camera in this country? Where's the plan, Tony? That's what we get, and Tony's a Democrat. This is what we get. We get Democrats that say, we gotta do something about this problem in our country. And they don't do anything about the problem in our country. Then afterwards they said, we have to stop people from destroying our infrastructure. They have a plan for that though. Where's the plan for the first part? The first part continues to happen. It keeps happening and it keeps happening and it keeps happening. The second part, we just blame on the protesters for responding to what keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening. We're tired of it. And now the guns are being openly shot in the middle of the street between two sides of a protest. Guess who else is gonna come out now with guns, prepared to shoot back?
Yep.
It's the race war that these white supremacists have been begging for 100 years.